I'm here tonight with author and journalist Samantha Knapp. She's so hot, she gives the sun tan lines. From Superfly to Super Mario, President Obama's first 50 days in office have left some people wondering what happened to the smooth-talking, ultra-confident badass. Samantha, Warren Buffett, he said that part of the problem on Wall Street is that Obama's message has been muddled. Last week, the White House actually took time out to talk about Rush Limbaugh, which shows kind of a lack in the ability to prioritize. Am I right or wrong?
Well, here's what I'm thinking about all this. There's two things here. One could argue maybe that there's too much for him to have to work on, and so obviously he's got all this stuff on his plate. And then you've got people who say, you know what, he's got too much on his plate and he's making some really weird decisions like trying to friend the Taliban. Next thing you know, we're going to have them at the White House on that play set with Sasha and Malia, like playing all together. My question is, like, slow down, take a deep breath, and decide really what you want to do here.
Very sensible advice. Your cable company needs a helping hand, and they'll take the available one from America's porn addicts. With intense competition coming from the AT&Ts and the Verizons of the world, cable and satellite companies are throwing morality to the wind and starting to promote adult-only options. Comcast allegedly okayed the running of dirty channel ads, and DirecTV lifted its ban on promoting their softcore video-on-demand services. Hey, Samantha, do you buy more or less porn when the economy is in the doldrums?
Well, I have to keep my money close to my pocket because I just don't have money for that. But here is my thought on all of this.
Way to deflect the question, but okay.
Well, like,
horrible habit, Greg.
My point is, if anybody wants to have any porn right now,
Yes.
If you all want it, you better keep it away from Wall Street. Keep Wall Street away from the idea that there's any money to be made. Because every time they get their hands into something, it's like boom, explosion, and it all falls apart. So all those porn stars, anyone who's going to get their plastic surgery thinking they're going to make some big money, better hope and cross their fingers that, you know, no one's getting wind that there's
nothing is crossed
sweet
in a porn.
moolah.
Trust me that. Yeah.
It's all open, yes.
The problem with having the movies,
It does,
though,
but as a movie, it doesn't say the title.
but the movies are never hardcore. They're softcore, and it's actually kind of irritating.
I actually saw a porn.
I've accidentally come across these videos and have been shocked to see that these things never end in anything very
Greg,
interesting.
you're very wrong. I saw a porn version of Wall-E titled Ball-E, and it was unbelievably hardcore. I had to turn it off halfway through.
Really?
I recommend it.
The idea was to entice your wife with the porn and watch it with her.
Ooh. Now, if I could find a wife, I've still got Ball-E.
In an article titled The Washing Machine and the Liberation of Women, the writer, a woman, argues that the invention of this machine freed women to do other things like talk to friends, drink coffee, and weep quietly in a corner. I'm sure the article had more to say, but I can't read Italian, so I'll assume they lauded the device and then said I was gorgeous. Fact is, this lady's right. The combination of ingenuity and industry have done more for chicks than any women's study course, self-help book, or crappy women's magazine extolling herbal enemas ever. Samantha, you're a woman. Do you find this article in the Vatican paper offensive or offensively accurate?
Well, I think the really crazy thing is drawing the conclusion that all women actually sat there with their shirts and stones and washed their clothes. Not I, said the fly. I mean, you have to realize that there are certain people out there that will just not even go in that direction, especially cleaning clothes for guys. Period. End of story. If you think I'm cleaning your stuff, you are.
I'm more curious about this.
Get at the spot.
I'm more curious about this talking fly you speak of. Not I, said the fly.
That should have been an A block, a talking fly.
That's better than any story we've ever had.
Call Ripley.
Oh my
picked it up
goodness.
somewhere in the movie.
I think you did. Welcome back. Let's find out if we've gotten anything wrong so far.
Hey, Samantha, do you buy more or less porn when the economy is in doldrums?
This question again.
I figured I'd give it another shot.
Stop me from number one. I'm actually on the flip side, so I don't have to pay for it.
Was that the name of the movie you bought?
I do remember you in Flipside 2, but the first one?
You know what's amazing? They're up to
secrets
Flipside
were
74 right now.
Amazing.
Yes, it's incredible.
Little did I know that all my secrets would just be unveiled in one little episode.
Also, Samantha, you said people better enjoy their porn before Wall Street gets their hands on it, because when they get their hands on something, it's boom, explosion, and it all falls apart, which I think is pretty much what happens when you watch porn anyway.
Yes.
But there's a different time span, I would say.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess that would be.
Thank you, Andy. Okay. Let me welcome back our guest, Samantha Knapp, author and journalist. She's so hot you can fry bacon on her face. So how high are your kids? I'm not talking about drugs. I'm talking about their cholesterol. According to new guidelines issued by the American Academy of Pediatrics, what's that? Children between the ages of 2 and 10 should now undergo routine screening for cholesterol levels during normal checkups. That's right, 2-year-old brats should be checking their lipid levels. Obviously, the hope is that this aggressive screening not only reduces heart and weight problems later in life, but is it worth turning our precious children into panicky hypochondriacs in exchange for an extra few years tacked on to the end of their stupid, miserable lives? Samantha, aren't fussy, paranoid adults ruining childhood for kids?
Listen, if you're fat and you're a kid, you have such a challenge, such a road ahead of you that I feel bad. It shouldn't even just be about cholesterol. The second you see your kid that is overweight, really, quite honestly, you really should be addressing that situation, because coming from a fat kid myself, I know what it's like.
Were you once a fat child?
I was.
When,
I was.
How much did you weigh?
Well, at one point I weighed 125. And
Oh, my God, 125. Go ahead.
No, but come on, 6th grade, and I can't pull up on the pull-up bar, and I'm eating a pound of bologna, and my mom's looking at me like, it's okay, honey.
Yeah.
She's got no friends. Let her eat the bologna. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So cholesterol or not, people really have to pay attention to their kids and what they're eating.
You know, Bill wasn't fat, but he still had no kids. I mean, friends or kids. Friendly
I'll
kids.
vouch for the first one, Greg.
But, Bill, you're basically at death's door. What do you think is the best way to encourage kids to be healthy?
Smoking? I mean, it's an appetite suppressant, isn't it? But the whole thing that's funny about this is that they've just sort of given up. Like, forget about having the kids do any exercise or anything like that. Let's accept the fact that they're all going to be little Dom DeLuises and have them start getting checked for cholesterol and heart attacks and stuff like that.
I mean, you know, these kids used to run around. Parents turn you loose for hours at a time now. Now they got to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, you got to have a phone. You got to wear a helmet. I mean, there's no danger anymore.
Because they're so scared of bruising, they are now bloated.
Oh, it is so
Listen,
true.
when you're 10 years old and wearing a training bra, I think that's the red flag. I mean, you got to stop the kids.
That's what I do.
I'll give you a green flag, kid.
Yeah.
Not only is love blind, but it's also stupid. In the latest Chris Brown-Rihanna chapter, E! is reporting the two have been spending the last few days in Santa Monica studio recording a duet.
She is the victim.
He's so right.
Rihanna is just living her life. Let's face it, you know.
What do you mean?
Is that her when she's about to fall over?
You know that song, she's living her life. She's living her life. She's doing what she wants to do.
Samantha, I know nothing about that music. I don't listen to pop music at all. But what I want to know is, she setting a bad example by going back with this guy? He's a creep.
I do think she is setting a bad example. I think it's like, speaking of movies, and we've been talking about them all night, the real-life story of Bobby Brown and Whitney. This is like a reversal to that. And I feel really bad for a lot of these kids who are going to watch this stuff and see her. She gets, you know, obviously beaten up, and then on the flip side, she's like, come listen to me, and I'm going to sell some albums. The best part about this
heard
is...
of Tina Turner?
Yeah, Ike and Tina.
Never heard of Ike?
They were the originals.
I do want to say with this album, when they put it out there, they already have, you know, the album cover. I hate to be funny about it, if not, you know, but come on, with that picture of her all beat up.
That's a seller.
Yeah, that'll definitely. From crazy love to crazier locks. Ooh, what a transition. Neuroscientists from the awkwardly named University College London, what a strange name, have found that human brains process hairstyles distinctly from how they view facial features. And just as some people suffer from facial blindness, in which you can't recognize expressions of close friends or relatives, an actual disorder called hair blindness could be even more common, which explains why some husbands never noticed their wife's new haircut, or why Three Dog Night actually went on stage looking that way. He certainly did.
Yeah.
Hey, Samantha, do you think men suffer from hair blindness more than women?
Not at all. I think every time, in my personal experience, every time I've chopped my hair, people have gone up to me and asked me the big question whether or not I'm a lesbian.
Really?
Are you?
Well, you know what? Here's the problem. You keep it long in the back. If you're rocking the mullet.
My girlfriend, my boyfriend, both of them, everybody notices. So the idea that guys don't pay attention to your hair is a crock.
Absurd.
Because they all see the beautiful hair, and every time you see a girl with beautiful long hair, it's like eyes turn.
Samantha, you got a new website?
I do, SamanthaKnapp.com, and since you are all about critiquing and giving the A-OK, I want you to log on. Check it out, let me know what you think. Did you catch anything?
All right.
What's it about?
All about me, actually. Hence the name, SamanthaKnapp.com.
But there are other people named Samantha Knapp around the United States. It could have some stuff about them in there.
Well, let's see it. I invite all you other Samantha Knapps to log on, and we'll see who's the original.
Would you say?
I think we'll find out.
Would you say your site is more text heavy or picture heavy?
Picture. right now.
Okay.
Fantastic. That means we will be logging on.
Yes.
And in most cases, one-handed. Yeah, because we'll be having refreshments in the other hand.
I like to use a free weight and work out.
I do preacher curls when I'm online.
Cookies and milk.
Yes.